What is going on out there, peeps? All right, so look, it's Friday our time, but over there it's their I believe ooh, their Saturday is what it is. So there's not a lot of news, but there is a couple of interesting articles that we will go over. First things first, everybody, we got Pimpy's Investment Chat in Facebook. It is the same name as the YouTube channel. I will leave a link in the description. It is free to come join us. We do talk about the Iraqi Dinar, the Vietnam Dong, as well as gold, silver, and cryptocurrencies. Come join us. It is free to do so. We also have another group called The Hidden Things in Front of Your Eyes. This covers more of current events, along with some things that you might consider conspiracy. Woo. 9/11, false flag events, as well as chemtrails and stuff like that a lot of people think are full of cocky pee-pee. Anyways, what's going on in the world of Iraq? So let's see here. The devaluation of the dinar should not be the first line of defense to confront the financial crisis. Not the devaluation. How about the increase of the dinar? I can't understand how devaluing the cryptocurrencies, how devaluing the dinar helps Iraq out at all. First of all, if people want to have faith in the Iraqi dinar, don't devalue it. How even the local people would lose their trust in their local currency if you devalue it. That's been in several studies already. Not only that, it's really hard for outside investors who want to come in and do business, and it's really bad for inflation. All right, so anyways, the Central Bank of Iraq, ALAC, stressed that the devaluation of the dinar against foreign currency should not be the first line of defense to confront the financial crisis and bridge the budget deficit. Wow, I agree. Why would you devalue it? It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not a professional economist, but I just use common sense. It would seem to me if you want to bridge deficit gaps, that you would increase the purchasing power of your dinar, meaning you need less dinar to buy items, especially when it comes to imports, exports. Iraq has to rebuild. They need more purchasing power. Devaluing it does nothing. I tell you who it helps, in all BS aside, and that is the so-called globalists. That's the problem that Dr. Shabibi had with wanting to do the Paris Agreement in the first place. He said the policies were great at lowering inflation, but he was pissed because he said the rate did nothing to help expand the economy of the Iraqi people. Anyways, in a letter addressed to the former Assistant Secretary General of the League of Arab State, legal advisor to the Prime Minister, obtained by the news, said that by virtue of the responsibility of the central bank for monetary policies, the study and review of the exchange rate is a continuous matter from before formation of the bank and its broad board of directors based on in-depth studies that take into consideration all factors and variables, noting that the exchange rate is not a sacred matter so that it cannot be compromised. There have been, and I've done videos on so many studies, so many of them that regard the Iraqi dinar exchange rate. And I have yet to find one that they said, let's lower the rate. Every single one of them, including some major economists here in the United States, said, look, you have to increase the rate in Iraq. You have to. They need the purchasing power in order to rebuild. Anyways, the devaluation of the dinar against foreign currency should not be the first line of defense, nor should it be a means to bridge deficits, shortcomings, and failures in the performance of other financial, commercial, investment, tax, and customs policies. Explaining easy solutions that achieve financial value should not be used limited at the expense of damage to all segments of society caused by inflation, especially the fragile and poor segment. So, devaluing the currency hurts the poor community. It really does. if I'm getting, I'm just using this as round numbers, and I did this before, but if I'm getting $1,000 worth of dinar and it's worth 100 US dollars, and then you devalue it, and I get the same $1,000 worth of dinar, but now it's only worth 50 US dollars. Do you see where I'm going with this? It doesn't help the poor. It actually punishes the Iraqi people when you devalue the currency. That's why it makes sense for them to go into the opposite direction. I don't get who even brought up devaluing the currency. We note that the inaccuracy of some accounts of the reduction achieved by the dinar from resources to the public budget, as the correct calculation is that we subtract from the total dollar revenues the share of oil companies, which amounts to $14 billion. That's not dinars, that's dollars annually, and the payment of the debts, interest, and external liabilities amounted to more than $5 billion. Seems to me then there's a $9 billion surplus, unless I'm missing something. In addition to the equipment and materials imported by the government, such as oil, derivatives, ration materials, the net of this amount strikes at the new price of the dinar, noting that if the dinar value is reduced to $1,500 dinars for every $1, and right now, for those who are wondering, what is the current rate? Well, it's $11.90. What the Ministry of Finance gets from the difference is 5 trillion dinars. That's not very much. People would lose. They would lose all confidence in the dinar, both externally and internally. This article is interesting because I have not heard anybody say that we need to devalue the value of the dinar. Very, very interesting that this would come out. As a matter of fact, if I didn't know any better, this seems to be some type of distraction. It's like when you're two dogs and you're arguing and somebody goes, squirrel! And you look around for a minute. Yeah, the devaluation of the dinar against the dollar will lead to protection and stimulation of the local product in something that many notes suffer because this measure is used by some countries to encourage exports. And in the case of Iraq, the goal is to provide ingredients to stimulate the domestic production and protect it from dumping policies practiced by exporting countries, especially neighboring countries. This goal will not be achieved by reducing the value of the dinar because the price difference is because of dumping policies. Okay, again, I can't stress this enough. I know you guys are like, dude, seriously, you can't read it? No, I'm actually reading it word for word. So when you translate it from Farsis into English, sometimes the translation isn't exactly the proper way to say it in a sentence. Anyways, we talked about this before. The devaluation would cause a huge loss of confidence, both locally and internationally, including outside investors in the Iraqi dinar. That's not what we want. We need to find that sweet spot. I still say around $1.13 or $1.34 sounds good. But I told you I had a friend of mine come in and make a great case why we should be at $3.22. He's like, Iraq has nothing. Having that sweet spot of $1.13, $1.34 would be great if they had other things to offer outside of oil, but they don't. And so they don't need to worry about competing import and export wise. They have nothing. But what they could do is increase their purchasing power and then import all the materials that they need to do infrastructure. Therefore, the rate should be higher to start out with. And, well, how can I argue with that? We would all benefit from that, wouldn't we? I know you'd like that. Anyway, so I'm not sure why this article is coming out. This article is actually similar to an article that came out about 4 months ago addressing the same issue. This was brought up before, and the same thing was said. And that is, you cannot devalue the Iraqi dinar. It's going to cause a catastrophe internally and externally. If anything, it makes sense to increase the Iraqi dinar. If you agree with me, hit the like button. If you really, really super agree with me, hit the subscription button. 51% of you guys who watch my videos are not subscribers, although I do appreciate the views. It surely does help out the channel if you do hit the subscription button. Anyways, Allah called for controlling random imports and stopping dumping policies through controlling border crossing, as the number of informal border crossing is more than official. and strict application of customs duties is an effective application of laws to protect the product and the consumers and anti-dumping. Well, like I said, Dr. Shabibi said the IMF's policies were really good at keeping inflation low, but did not help to expand the Iraqi economy because the currency value of the dinar was way too low. It needs to increase, all right? The parliamentary committee meets with Al-Qadimi to discuss Turkish-Iranian aggression. Well, yeah, we know what the Turkish are fighting. They're going after the people in Kurdistan. I believe it's in there. Let me see if I'm right. It's the PK something. I don't know. They call them terrorists, and they keep coming over the border to screw with the people of Kurdistan. The Parliamentary Security of Defense Committee announced on Friday that tomorrow, Saturday, will be decided to meet the Prime Minister, Chief of Commander of the Armed Forces, Al-Qadimi, to discuss the Turkish-Iranian aggression on Iraqi soil. This is another reason why we need to keep at least a few U.S. soldiers there. The Foreign Minister Hussein summoned the ambassador of Turkey and Tehran to Baghdad and delivered a strongly worded protest note that transgression of their governments on Iraqi sovereignty. That's what we want, Iraq to have their own sovereignty. In turn, the Parliamentary Security of Defense Committee requested an urgent meeting with the Prime Minister Al-Qadimi in his capacity as Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces to discuss the Turkish-Iranian bombing incursions of the Turkish army into Iraqi territory. Here it is. They want to go after the PKK, which is Kurdistan. They have been fighting each other for a long time. I'm talking about Turkey and Kurdistan. All right? Now, Turkey's pretty powerful. Something tells me that we're going to need Trump to get involved here. He's actually decent hombres with the leader of Turkish. But we can't have any other countries coming in and messing up what the hell is going on in Iraq. All right, you guys, so that's what's going on for now. I just wanted to share. There's only 2 articles. There's not a lot going on. This is big news, and you guys been blowing me up on my inbox saying, what does this mean? Well, it doesn't mean anything. It just tells you that their reason for not wanting to devalue the currency, and I'm not sure that it was ever brought up, but that's what's so weird about some of these articles. I don't think it was ever mentioned that they wanted to. I think what this guy is just saying is this. If you're considering devaluing the Iraqi dinar, don't. Like I said, who cares what they say? What we want to keep an eye on is what they do. Get where I'm coming from? All right, you guys have a good one. I'll catch you later.